Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
And I'm Anne Gonzalez.
See, we'll just put you right in there. Throw it right to you. It is Wednesday, November 13th, our opportunity to share more about short-term service opportunities with the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. Excited to share another story. And I just always enjoy these stories because these are real opportunities, whether you're a layperson or a church worker, an opportunity to connect and serve in a unique way. And today we're headed to... Well, I was going to say we're headed to Poland. We're not really headed to Poland.
No, that would we're going to talk with one of the Poland participants from the summer.
Exactly.
10th year of English Bible camps in Poland this summer.
Wow,
that is
that's
so cool.
It is.
And joining us by phone today, Katie Scherger, short-term volunteer English Bible camps in, is it Konin? Is that right? Konin, Poland?
Konin.
I'll get it right eventually. Katie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us, how did you learn about the short-term volunteer opportunities with the English Bible Camp?
So my mom was actually looking online at the service opportunities on the LCMS webpage, and she came across the Poland one, and she was like, Katie, you should check this out, because I'm actually studying English education at university, so it seemed like something that was up my alley, and I've been considering teaching abroad for a long time, so I thought maybe this would be a good way to learn if teaching abroad was a good fit for me. So I heard about it, and then I applied last fall.
What did you expect to learn? What were you looking forward to before you went on this trip?
I was really hoping to find out for me personally, if I enjoyed working in the capacity of an English teacher abroad, and also like mission opportunities. I wanted to know more about long-term mission work abroad.
Cool. So tell us about the people you met. How was the good news of Christ shared in this setting?
Some people who really I connected with, there's Ben, who serves in the Czech Republic, and Alyssa and Sarah, who are in St. Petersburg. And I got to really have some good conversations with Alyssa about their work as English teachers. It was really insightful for me to learn more about what that looks like in their daily life and the challenges and experiences, but also like what a great gift it is to get to share the good news of God in capacities that might not otherwise be reached.
Tell us about a day in the life of an English Bible camp. What did this actually look like when you were on the ground with the kids teaching English, teaching about the Bible? What did it actually look like, a day in the life of an English Bible camp participant?
Yeah, so in Konin, we had a shared dormitory type living situation. So we would get up every morning and have breakfast with the family. They were so great. Pastor Valdek and his wife, Ava, and then their two children, they were such generous hosts. We would have breakfast with them and have a devotional. And then we would have an opening with the children. And then we would split into 4 rotations. There was a Bible story, craft, English lesson, and then music, which I helped lead. And then we would have a lunch, and then after lunch we would have time for games and some free time. And that was really my favorite part of the day, because that was when we really got to connect with the kids and have real conversations with them outside of like a lesson setting. And then we would have a closing, and then the leaders and all the volunteers and translators, we would get together outside. They have like a cute little outdoor patio where we would all gather and share watermelon and then talk about what went well with the day, just debrief. And then most days our hosts, Pastor Valdek and Ava, would take us out into the community and help us learn more about the context of Poland and why we're there, and also getting to know the city better, getting to know members of their congregation better. Yeah, and then we would get up the next day and do it all over again.
You mentioned that your favorite part was the less structured time, the more the free time to have more spontaneous conversations. What did those conversations look like as you were practicing? I'm sure as they were too practicing English. Tell us more about some of those conversations you got to have.
There was in particular one boy who had some private English lessons, so he really was a driver in like making conversations not only with like us missionaries, but like including other children in the conversations. And a lot of them, they were just really curious about what life was like in the United States. Yeah.
So what encouragement would you give another college student who is considering the opportunity to serve on this sort of opportunity or a similar opportunity?
I would say absolutely apply for it, pray about it, talk it over with your pastor or maybe other leaders in your congregation. Everyone in the process is so wonderful, so I would definitely encourage any other college student to think about it.
So when you're serving on a trip like this, you're kind of immersed in the culture of being abroad and being among people who don't speak your language, cultures that are different. What did you learn from your time being immersed in a different culture that you bring back to the States and kind of has influenced how your life back here?
Something that was interesting for me was the language aspect, especially. I studied German in university too, so there was a lot of people in Poland who would want to speak with me in German once they found out that I could speak some. And then also just how much of the language you can pick up just from being within the context. I would be at the dinner table with them, and then someone would ask in Polish, like, can you pass this to someone else who spoke Polish? But I would just pick it up and pass it to them, and they were like, oh, you understand. And I was like, oh, no, I just guessed. So I think I really enjoy studying linguistics, so that was something that really affirmed my interest in that.
I have all the culture questions,
Go for
all
it.
The questions. Just you shared with us a picture, which hopefully we can share with our post today, or maybe on social media, of you and some of the children that you were teaching, and in a beautiful sanctuary. What was it like being? I have questions about the sanctuaries and I have questions about food, but I don't know how much time we have for. So tell us a little bit about the sanctuary, because it looks just beautiful and there's a lot of rich tradition there.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting history that they shared with us. After the war, it was actually used to hold prisoners. So in that beautiful altar behind there are actually bullet holes from that time where the church wasn't in use and it was being used to hold prisoners. So there's so much history in this church.
That is just fascinating. Wow, so much history. And I just looking at the colors and the combination, it just looks like a beautiful sanctuary. There are so many stories to be told, and that's quite a story there as well. Okay, you mentioned back to culture, because you mentioned in the daily schedule, I heard breakfast and lunch, and that's all I heard. You talked about other important things, but I heard breakfast and lunch. Did you? And you talked about having conversations around meals as well. Was this your first experience with Polish meals?
It was, yes. And the pastor's wife, Ava, she actually had us make pierogi, which is a very traditional Polish meal. So that was a very interesting experience and a very good learning experience.
So did you discover? Did you discover any foods that you might be, that are new favorites for you, might be welcoming or trying to recreate back here in the States?
Definitely pierogi. And then during our fellowship hours after church, some members of the congregation would bring food to share with us. And then we had so many delicious things, but unfortunately, I don't know what they were called. It's a little hard to recreate those.
Sure. You were there to help teach English, but you learned a lot about the culture, and it sounds like it was just an outstanding experience for you and for those you were serving. And so glad, Anne, to hear that 10 years of this program, the English Bible Camp, happening in Poland, and there are more opportunities to serve. Is that right, Anne?
Correct. Actually, as the success of the Poland English Bible Camps has gotten out, other fields have asked to have teams come there as well. So next summer, we're actually sending a team to Russia to teach English, to the Ukraine, and several teams to Poland again. So the Russia team is already filled, but we are looking for energetic folks to go to the Ukraine in June, or folks to serve in Poland in July or August next year. And they can learn more and start the application process by going to servenow.lcms.org.
Very good. Katie, it has been a pleasure talking with you and learning about your experience as a volunteer with the English Bible Camp in Konin, Poland. Thank you so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Thank you so much.
That was really fun. And so many more opportunities. Again, servenow.lcms.org is the place to find applications and information, how to apply for the upcoming teams. And maybe you could have a story like Katie's as well, then serving on a team, maybe an English Bible team, English Bible Camp team, or Mercy Medical teams, things like
There's
that.
lots
as
of
well.
other opportunities around the world to serve.
Thank you so much, Anne, for joining us in the studio this morning. Always great to have you in studio, and thanks for bringing us such great stories to share.
My pleasure.
I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.